One important way the beef industry stimulates demand is through the work of the beef checkoff. The $1 per head checkoff is used to encourage consumers to buy more beef through initiatives such as consumer advertising, marketing partnerships, public relations, education, research, and new product development. We asked beef producers from across the country to share their thoughts on the value of the beef checkoff.
The beef checkoff gives us the funding that the industry needs to do research, to advertise. I really do like what the beef checkoff has done the last couple of years on their advertising.
Marketing is important to any business, and the beef checkoff really helps us get the message about the quality of our product out there, so I fully support it.
You know, I think a lot of the research that gets done on the checkoff side is really important to the industry, along with the marketing side of things. But there's a lot of dollars that get put into marketing and research and new product development, and you know, a lot of those things, a lot of the producers don't see on a day-to-day basis, but it's targeting the areas of the country and the industry that we need to focus on to grow demand.
You know, if you look back over the years, the checkoff value has increased a little bit every year, and without them, I hate to think where we might be. Sometimes it's slow to see the progress that we make, but if you look back over 5, 10, 20 years, you can see a real progress in the export market. You can see a real progress in the amount of return per checkoff dollar that we pay in.
Continues to get the message out there of beef is being raised sustainably. It's a safe product, it's a nutritious product, and I think the pandemic has brought a little bit of light to the people having to stay home and cook more, and they're now more familiar with our product and realizing that it's not the same product that it was before, and it's because of the good advertising and campaigns that NCBA has taken on with the checkoff and advertising why beef is what's for dinner.
The National Beef Checkoff Program is led by volunteer cattle producers from across the country who are appointed to represent their state and serve on the Cattlemen's Beef Board. Russell Nemitz caught up with this year's Beef Board chair.
Well, the $1 per head beef checkoff program continues to yield an amazing return on investment for all those checkoff investors nationwide. And joining us here on Cattleman to Cattleman now is the Cattlemen Beef Board Chairman, Norm Voiles Jr. out of Indiana. Caught up with you this year here in Houston at the Cattle Industry Convention, Norm. And truly one of the success stories when we talk about the beef checkoff program and that ROI has been on the beef export front.
Oh, you bet. The beef exports have just been going nuts, crazy. We're looking at moving record numbers of not only pounds of beef, but also dollars of beef. We're going to experience over $10.5 billion of export sales in 2021. We're looking at variety meats, both going to be in excess of $1 billion. We're going to have 3 countries in which we're going to export in excess of $2 billion.
That's incredible news. And for folks at home, maybe boil it down, if you will, Norm. What does that mean for the guys back here at home that are actually making that investment? Because it does create more value for those animals we're raising.
It absolutely does. We're looking at values in excess of $400 an animal that's being fed because of those exports. And we're not only exporting those great cuts that we like steaks and roast, but we're also exporting variety meats, which would include livers, tongues, tripe, things like that we really don't use here in the U.S.
It's pretty amazing to think about that demand that we're seeing around the world for that high quality and delicious beef protein we're raising here in America. But we can't forget to mention about the incredible demand we're seeing right here at home from our own domestic consumers.
Absolutely. We're looking at about a 33-year high in domestic demand for beef, which is just tremendous, and that doesn't happen overnight. That's what the checkoff has been working on for over 35 years.
And not only is beef delicious, but let's talk about the nutritional value. We know that consumers are getting blasted with a lot of other different messages out there, not just from other proteins, but now plant-based proteins. And you guys at the Checkoff are hitting this head on to make sure beef stays front and center in the meat case.
You bet. We've got contractors such as NCBA that is helping to fund some research from scientists around the country that are looking at the beef profile and what that does in different stages of life. We're finding that it is an excellent source of protein and amino acid profile for throughout the life cycle, from toddlers up to seniors. We're also seeing that from another contractor, the U.S. Cattlemen's Association, in conjunction with K-State, is looking at what are consumers wanting in terms of beef. And when they go to the grocery store, and we've got about 70% of folks believe that they are meat eaters, and they are 11 times more likely to choose beef at the grocery store than they are a plant-based protein product.
Well, guys like you and I, we could sit here for hours talking about everything that the Beef Checkoff program is doing with that $1 per head investment, but we've only scratched the surface. In the meantime, I know you guys have just kind of launched a new digital campaign, if you will, to get these type of messages and updates right to the inbox of people across America.
You bet. It's called The Drive. You can go to thebeefboard.org. Also, you can go to drivingdemandforbeef.com. Either website will take you to the Beef Board website, where you can see digital platforms that are short little 5-minute videos, driving demand for beef, and it'll give you lots of information that you can go and talk to your neighbors, consumers that don't have any idea what's going on in the beef industry, and give them great information from our contractors.
Without question, some exciting and positive news for the U.S. beef industry and, of course, those consumers. And more importantly, just an important update for all those Beef Checkoff investors across America from the Cattlemen's Beef Board Chairman Norm Voiles Jr. out of Indiana.
Now, to learn more about how your Beef Checkoff dollars are being used to increase beef demand, go to beefboard.org and click on The Drive to subscribe to a free newsletter that highlights the positive ways the Checkoff is impacting beef producers.